Hi guys, Brexiteers are in the business of blaming others for their pet project not delivering the sunlit uplands they had promised. As I said before, Brexiteers are not to be confused with Brexit voters. Brexiteers are people who currently believe leaving the EU was the right thing to do. And they will of course not allow anyone to criticise the reality of that decision, but instead blame Remainers, the EU, Ireland and even the Tory government for not getting the results they promised to others. These people are liars and charlatans, and one Brexiteer, Ella Whelan, appeared alongside others including Tobias Ellwood, which she clashed with, attacking any suggestion that Brexit isn't working. Why? Well, because the opportunities have been squandered. Have a listen to this tripe.
To Remainer shouting at me, and don't worry about
I'm not a Remainer, I'm a post-Brexiteer. We're all post-Brexiteers. The fact that you
Tobias,
label people...
let her speak, please.
But, you know, the thing is, as I was saying, I don't think anyone thinks we're living in a one that I've just described how bad the cost of living crisis is. No one thinks that things are going well.
But Brexiteers promised that things would be well. Jacob Rees-Mogg promised that food would be cheaper. Nigel Farage promised the fishermen that they would be able to sell their fish into the single market. Things are not going well.
The point is, I'm not sat in the House of Commons making policy or making law. Part of the Brexit vote, the excitement of it was giving more democracy to ordinary people, to your average Joe and Jane.
Okay. There wasn't a caveat. Vote for Brexit if I'm in power, and we will be able to deliver these sunlit uplands if I'm in power. No, that wasn't the requirement. Didn't hear these people come on TV and say, look, if I'm in power, we'll have a wonderful Brexit. But if I'm not in power, well, you know, maybe you should reconsider voting for Brexit. And this thing about democracy, it gave the average person on the street more democracy. What the heck does that mean?
And unfortunately, what this government has done, and with no help from the opposition coming from the sidelines, is make a complete hames of it, has made a total mess of any kind of potential that we could have had.
That was all...
By spending, hang on a minute, by spending, I know you can laugh
but
at...
it was always going to be the Brexiteers argument when it didn't work. No. Well, it could have worked if you'd done
that. So what would you do differently?
The scorn in this room is unbelievable.
No,
and actually, to be serious for a second.
I'm curious.
To be serious for a second.
You're not very curious because you won't let us speak.
The things that could have been differently is that you could have had politicians take seriously the exciting prospect of voting citizens wanting to be more involved in politics.
What the heck does that mean? What, people couldn't be involved in politics before Brexit, and then people could be more involved in politics after Brexit? What? I have a real difficulty responding to this because I have no understanding of what the hell she's talking about.
Looking at big things like sovereignty, big things like democracy.
Big things like sovereignty. Okay, define sovereignty. Because this is the thing that you hear from Brexiteers. We got our sovereignty back because we left the EU. Well, this week, the Tory government is joining a trade bloc in the Pacific where they have to give up sovereignty. You have to give up sovereignty when you join any sort of international organisation. If you're part of the UN, you give up sovereignty to be part of the UN. If you join NATO, these people don't have a problem with the UK being a member of NATO. When you're a member of NATO, you surrender a certain amount of sovereignty. In the same case with this trading bloc in the Pacific, you're surrendering sovereignty to be part of that trading bloc. Will there be a referendum? Of course there won't.
Talking about how we could change British politics for the better. You know, that take back control slogan might have been slandered as some kind of ridiculous Nigel Farage side of the bus, whatever it is. And you can go down that route if you want. Or actually, if you cared about, as you seem to opine like you do, about the average, person who, you say, oh, it's so bad, they're going to food banks, oh, it's so terrible, everyone's a hard time. If you actually cared about their political prospects and the future of their political lives, you would have taken seriously the challenge that Brexit set the British political class.
What is she talking about once again? I'm sorry to be asking these questions, but I don't understand what she means by that. The challenge set of the British political class. Brexit set some sort of challenge. Once again, was that mentioned in the run-up to the vote? It's going to set a challenge to the British political class. Is she talking about, problems facing businesses, that they're struggling to import and export? Is she talking about the ending of supply chains? Is she talking about the ending of freedom of movement, which has made it difficult for businesses to get the staff they need, which is seeing tourists being turned away, students who provide money for the exchequer being turned away because they don't have the right visas? Is this what she's talking about? These challenges?
Unfortunately, it has been squandered, and I'm miserable about that. But what I will not accept is that it's somehow our fault, that it's...
And here we have it. See, once again, it's not our fault. We lied to people. We told them that there'd be all these wonderful benefits. These benefits haven't arrived. It's not our fault. We sold people something that we didn't understand. Now the majority of people understand that it was a pile of crap. It's not like there was only one voice back in 2016. One voice saying everything will be great. There were experts who were saying it will not be great. There will be massive challenges. There will be serious problems. And the response from Brexiteers was not, okay, let's take on board what they've said and modify our message. No, it was, these people are scaremongering. These people don't understand Brexit. These people don't understand the EU. These people don't understand business. They don't understand X, Y, and Z. They're trying to stop Brexit. They're against democracy. This is what the message was from Brexiteers. Everything will be great. And of course, you had the conflicting messages. You had Nigel Farage saying we can be like Switzerland, we can be like Norway, and then turning around and saying nobody wants to be like Switzerland, nobody wants to be like Norway. You had Daniel Hannan, who's now a member of the House of Lords, saying, in 2015, nobody's talking about leaving the single market. So some people voted in 2016 because of messages from Brexiteers like, we're going to be part of the single market, or we're not going to be part of the single market, or we will be like Switzerland, or we will be like Norway. Somebody was lying. Somebody didn't know what the heck they were talking about.
It's the fault of voters in Bolton or in Tottenham.
No. It's not the fault of voters. It's the fault of the charlatans and the crooks and the liars. People like you. It's your fault because you said everything will be great. On the other side, experts were saying, no, it will be not. And your response was to shout them down, to say that they were wrong, even though you didn't know what the heck you were talking about. Until these individuals, these Brexiteers, admit that they were wrong, they're going to continue to blame everyone but themselves. They've moved on from blaming the EU. You can't really blame the EU anymore. So they've moved on to this current stage, which is blaming the Tory government. Look at all these opportunities we could have had. We can't have a wonderful Brexit because the Tories aren't implementing it. They're not taking advantage of these wonderful opportunities. As I said at the beginning, tripe. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.